President Zelensky was addressing the United States Congress this morning, and he had a couple of very interesting things to say.
As the leader of my nation, I am addressing the President Biden. You are the leader of the nation, of your great nation. I wish you to be the leader of the world.
Yeah, now that makes one of us. I'm going to be, I don't even know that Joe Biden's really the leader of this nation, and I definitely know he's not at all qualified to be the leader of the world. He doesn't even know who he is or who he's married to. Yesterday, he was giving a speech, and I guess Kamala Harris was supposed to be there. Her husband, Doug Emhoff, may have been in attendance or was scheduled to appear. He, of course, Doug Emhoff, has contracted COVID, so he can't be there. I think she may have to be quarantining. It doesn't matter. The whole thing was nixed and switched around. And here is what Joe Biden told the crowd yesterday.
But there's been a little change in the arrangement of who's on the stage because of the First Lady's husband contracting COVID. But,
okay, now what he said was the First Lady's husband contracted COVID.
The First Lady's husband contracting COVID,
but yeah, well, the First Lady is Jill Biden, and the First Lady's husband is Joe Biden. So what Joe Biden said was, there's been a change in the program because I have contracted COVID.
The First Lady's husband contracting COVID.
And he does this a lot. Remember, he always used to introduce himself as Jill Biden's husband. Well, now he's introducing himself as the First Lady's husband. Only what he meant was not the First Lady contracting COVID. He meant Kamala Harris's husband, who is the second gentleman. So Jill called to him from the side and said, "You idiot, you did it again. You got to fix the problem." And he tried again to fix the problem. But, you know, it's Joe Biden.
Pardon? That's right. She's fine.
That's polite. Some polite laughter.
The second lady, the first gentleman.
No.
How about that?
No, it's not the first, it's the second. The first gentleman. Anyway, the first gentleman would be you if Jill Biden were the president, which I'm going to be honest with you, at this point, I think probably is more accurate. Anyway, that's the guy, the First Lady's husband. That's the guy that President Zelensky wants to lead the world. How do you lead the world? Well, this way.
Being the leader of the world means to be the leader of peace. Thank you. Slava Ukraine.
Thank you, Slava Ukraine, which means, what do we say? Glory be to Ukraine. Is that right? Josh, what was the official definition of Slava Ukraine?
Glory to Ukraine.
Glory to Ukraine. Yeah, it's one of the, you're going to hear it a lot because it's Nancy Pelosi's new favorite phrase. She repeated it an embarrassing amount of times when she was introducing President Zelensky to Congress.
Slava Ukraina. My colleagues, Slava Ukraina. Slava Ukraine.
And she kept mumbling it as she was walking around, as she was rolling around. But these people are applauding. Here comes President Zelensky. He shows up in a T-shirt, which a bunch of people on Twitter were hating on him for, saying, "Look, you're addressing Congress. Who was the guy? Peter." Oh, I forget his name. He's a big-time stockbroker, and he rich guy, and he has like his own little radio show. Anyway, he got on there and said, "Look, I know you think times are bad in Ukraine, but you couldn't at least put on a clean shirt and some cufflinks when you come and address Congress." Anyway, I think he's since deleted that tweet, but he's out there and he's talking and he's saying, "Listen, you have to be the president of peace. And in order to be the president of peace, you have to come here and shoot down Russian warplanes. You need to come here, bring your planes, bring us the MiGs, give us the MiGs from Poland, whatever you can do. Shut down, close the airspace in Ukraine." And closing the airspace in Ukraine means shooting down and killing Russian pilots, which the United States is not going to do, which means this entire presentation of President Zelensky coming and asking Congress for help, Congress for assistance, it's definitely all seems to be a little bit of a show. You're asking for something that the president has told you you're not going to get. So what are you going to get instead? probably a couple $100 million more, maybe even $1 billion or $2 billion. In fact, that's what Congress is doing, announcing that they're sending more money to Ukraine. They're sending more money for weapons, for support. They're arming the citizens. They're training the citizens on how to use guns. These are the Democrats and the Republicans as well, but mostly the Democrats. Joe Biden saying, I'm not going to go there. We're not going to fly our planes around Ukraine. We're not going to shoot down Russians. We're not at that point, but I will send you money. I will send you weapons. I will allow you to arm your citizens so they can fight the Russians. So just to recap, the party here in the United States of America that wants to go door to door demanding you give up your constitutionally protected AR-15s and rifles and 30-round magazines and whatever else you've purchased with your own money to protect yourself and your posterity, they want you to give that up because they don't trust you. But they're going to take your tax dollars, send them to the Ukraine so that they can give guns to their citizens to protect their property and posterity. Makes perfect sense to me. Makes perfect sense to me. Maybe I'm becoming a Democrat.